Listen up, you graybeards and budget-minded patriots. If you think that because inflation is eating your lunch money, you have to settle for cheap plastic junk made overseas that jams, if you look at it wrong, you are dead wrong. I've had it up to here with these tacticool clowns pushing polymer garbage that costs more than my first used pickup truck. We are not talking about toys for the range today. We are talking about the gears of liberty, the tools that have put meat on the table and kept the homestead secure for 50 years. If your knuckles ache or your eyesight is starting to play tricks on you when you try to line up those tiny black iron sights, you need mechanics that work every single time. We are hunting for steel, walnut, and simplicity. And we're doing it while keeping the price tag below what you used to pay for a good steak dinner. I've cobbled together 7 absolute ironclad options that blend historical reliability with current street-level pricing you can actually find, new or used, right now. We are pairing the cheap-to-run 22 long rifle trainers with the proven 38 special protectors. Pay attention, because once these dependable surplus guns dry up, you are looking at double the price. Buy it cheap and stack it deep. This Phoenix Arms HP2A is the entry point for the financially strapped. Look, nobody is going to mistake this for a custom shop piece. It is what it is, one of the last semi-automatic pistols you can reliably find brand new for under $200 in this current economy, heading into 2026. The pedigree here isn't war heroism, it's sheer availability and low operational cost. It is designed for minimal intrusion into your wallet, both on the purchase end and the shooting end. This piece is chambered in the humble 2.2 LR, which means your cost per round is pennies, letting you practice until your arm falls off without calling the banker. The feel of this little pistol is light, almost disconcertingly so. If you are dealing with the aches and pains of an aging shoulder, the recoil impulse from this piece is so close to non-existent that you might think you forgot to load it. It functions almost like a dedicated training tool, which is exactly what it needs to be for someone whose fine motor skills might be compromised when trouble starts brewing. The action is simple blowback, making disassembly for cleaning straightforward enough for a man who prefers pliers over an Allen wrench set. You should never let this gun get truly filthy. They require a bit more attention than a tank, but for basic close-range defense practice or just keeping the plinking fun alive, it serves its purpose without complaint, provided you feed it decent ammunition. Heritage Rough Rider. Now we switch gears entirely, moving from cheap semi-auto mechanisms to the undeniable simplicity of the single-action revolver, the Heritage Rough Rider. This gun is a modern salute to the 6-shooters that settled the West, albeit scaled down to the 22 long rifle caliber, which keeps the costs manageable. You can often find these new below $200, and sometimes they even come bundled with a second cylinder, maybe a 3.251, giving you an extra layer of utility without breaking the bank. The tactile experience is pure throwback. You are not manipulating a slide. You are thumbing back that hammer until you hear the satisfying, deliberate click that tells you the firing pin is under tension. For some older shooters, this deliberate, your 2-step process acts as a fantastic manual safety. You can carry it safely with the hammer down and only cock it right before you intend to fire. If you have shaky hands or severe arthritis, you might find the heavy farm implement pull of a single-action trigger slightly easier to manage than the long, stacking pull of a budget double-action revolver. Rossi 22LR revolver. When we transition to the used market, that's where the value explodes, and the Rossi 22LR revolvers, models like the old Plinker or the sturdy Model 88, start showing up right around that $180 to $200 mark if you know where to look. These are stout little firearms. Rossi has been making serviceable double-action wheel guns for decades, and these older 22 models are often direct descendants of more expensive designs, just built with slightly less cosmetic flair. The massive advantage of any double-action revolver over the single-action Rough Rider is speed of engagement. You pull the trigger once, and it fires. You pull it again, and it fires. No cocking needed. For older shooters, the long, smooth pull of a double-action revolver, especially when the springs start to wear a little, can be surprisingly easy on the finger joint compared to the sharp break of a mediocre semi-automatic trigger. The weight is usually manageable, offering a good balance between portability and recoil absorption. Mechanically, it is poetry in its simplicity. You have a cylinder, a hammer, and a trigger group. There are far fewer things to go wrong compared to the slide, springs, and feed ramps of a semi-auto, which means reduced maintenance headaches for those who don't want to strip their firearm down to the springs every week. Harrington and Richardson Revolver. Sticking with the theme of solid, forgotten American-made hardware. We have the Harrington and Richardson models, specifically the Sportsman or the Model 922, found used in .22 LR. These are often overlooked, sitting right next to the Colts and Smiths on the used rack, but they represent real historical value and function. H&R built these things to be simple, robust, and affordable for the average working man. The beauty of the H&R design, particularly the older models, is often their substantial build quality compared to some of the featherweight aluminum toys on the market today. When you pick one up, even the .22 versions feel dense. This density translates directly into a very pleasant shooting experience where the minimal recoil of the .22 LR is effectively negated by the gun's sheer mass. For someone with less hand strength, this means better control and less flinching over multiple rounds. Disassembly for cleaning is typically very user-friendly. They generally use very straightforward mechanical systems that don't require specialized gunsmithing tools to maintain. You can keep this running reliably with basic field stripping. The availability of parts on the secondary market is usually decent because they produced these by the shipload for decades. Charter Arms Undercover Light, .38 Special used. Now we are stepping up into the centerfire realm, and the Charter Arms Undercover Light in .38 Special is where we begin to balance firepower against the physical limitations of the user. The light model is designed specifically to be manageable, utilizing an aluminum frame instead of the heavy steel found in many of its competitors. This keeps the carry weight down, maybe around 20 ounces, which is a huge plus for someone who might need to carry concealed or simply doesn't want a heavy gun pulling on their belt all day. The key to making this work beautifully for an older shooter is the ammunition choice. Yes, it is chambered for the .38 Special, a formidable cartridge, but you do not have to load it with hot, standard loads that hammer the wrist. You load it with quality self-defense rounds like the wad cutter or specific low-recoil defensive loads designed for maximum expansion at lower velocities. This combination gives you superior penetration and reliable expansion over a .22 LR, but with recoil that is manageable, more of a push than a snap. Being a revolver, the operation is dead simple. Point and squeeze the trigger. There are no external safeties to fumble with under duress. Its simplicity is its strength in a high-stress, low-motor skill event. Reliability is excellent because the aluminum frame doesn't complicate the simple double-action mechanism. Smith Wesson Model 10 or Rossi Model 971. This is the heart of American defensive reliability, boys. The Smith & Wesson Model 10, or its modern, often stainless equivalent from Rossi, the Model 971, both in .38 Special. Finding a police trade-in Model 10 that still has decent rifling and lockup for under $200 in 2026 is tough, but it's possible if you are persistent in the surplus auctions. These guns were carried daily by officers for decades. They are built like frigates. The Model 10 is the definition of a full-frame revolver. It is heavy, usually pushing 30 ounces or more depending on the barrel length. For the older shooter worried about control, this weight is a massive asset. When you load this with a standard pressure .38 Special round, the gun's mass completely dampens the recoil. It feels like firing a slightly loud .22. This allows for exceptional sight tracking and rapid, accurate follow-up shots, something critical when you might not get a perfect first shot placement. The mechanism is the legendary Smith & Wesson swing-out cylinder design. It is proven, it is understandable. If you have arthritis, the action might feel stiff initially, but once broken in, and these surplus guns usually are already broken in, the cylinder locks up tight, providing perfect barrel alignment. The grips often the classic diamond-patterned wood on the Model 10, are designed to be held high and tight in the palm. The logistical upside is ammunition availability. The .38 Special is everywhere, and surplus or mid-range defensive loads are plentiful. The downside is that if you find a budget Model 10, it might have cosmetic damage, Patchmire grip swapped on, finish worn down to the white metal, but we don't care about looks. We care about the hammer falling reliably. Taurus 856 Defender. We are closing our list by looking at a modern solution designed specifically to address the shortcomings of older, lighter revolvers, the Taurus 85-6 Defender. I know, Taurus used to be synonymous with questionable quality, but the Defender series is a legitimate piece of equipment that shows they've cleaned up their act. This is a 6-shot revolver in the ubiquitous .38 Special, which immediately gives you 20% more capacity than the standard 5-shot J-frame. The genius of the Defender, especially for those with vision issues, is the 3-inch barrel and the sights. Most lightweight snubnoses sport a 2-inch tube, which makes the muzzle jump violently. That extra inch of barrel on the Defender shifts the weight balance forward, acting like a muzzle brake and keeping the nose down for faster recovery. Furthermore, it comes standard with a high-visibility front sight, often a bright orange ring around a tritium vial. This sight picture is vastly superior for older eyes in low light compared to traditional black-on-black sights. Ergonomically, it's usually supplied with comfortable full-size rubber grips that absorb recoil better than the small grips found on comparable light revolvers. While still light enough to carry, the extra cylinder and the barrel length give it a handling profile that feels more substantial than its carry weight suggests. The action is generally smoother than you would expect at this price point, especially when compared to the budget semi-autos we saw earlier. The primary trade-off, even with Taurus's improved quality control, is that you are buying a budget-minded piece. While reliable with standard pressure .38 Special loads, you must ensure you cycle enough rounds through it during break-in to confirm its function for your specific load. You are trading the bulletproof nature of a heavy steel SP101 for capacity and better sights in a lighter package. This is the ideal modern, lightweight, higher capacity centerfire revolver that can often sneak in just under the $200 threshold when purchased new, making it an incredible asset for personal defense where the shooter needs simplicity, visibility, and 6 shots of proven power. There you have it, gentlemen. 7 honest tools for honest work. We mix the ultra-cheap, low-recoil 22 trainers with the time-tested, full-power 38 Special workhorses you can find without selling your truck. The message remains the same. Do not let the hype machines tell you that you need a $1,000 polymer masterpiece to stay safe. What you need is reliability, controllability, and a price tag that doesn't make you sacrifice groceries for gunpowder. These options prioritize mechanical certainty over flashy furniture. I want to know what you think. Do you trust the light aluminum guns like the Charter Arms Undercover Light, or do you still believe in heavy steel like the old Model 10 to absorb the shock? Spill it in the comments below. Like this video if you appreciate getting the straight dope. Subscribe for more analysis that respects your wallet and your rights, and stay vigilant out there. Dispari intelligence, muchachos.